The connections between people are usually based on something. If you can't talk to someone, don't worry because you don't have a common ground with them. The most common connection is usually built on our own interests and benefit, but this is not strong because the connection breaks when interests end. Most of the time, people really think they are friends and love them, but they are not. Only some interests connect us. We may need friendship at school or at work because we are social beings and need to talk. Or we want to hang out in the evenings, or we want to share our problems and chat, and many other examples can be given. These are connections based on our needs. When we move, change schools, graduate from college, quit drinking, or have no problems, these friendships end. Like among most people, connections between countries are usually based only on interests and benefits. If there is no interests, there is no connection. Other than that, there is a national connection. Loving someone just because they were born where you were born, how silly it is. Anyway, let's continue, because I'll need to make a new video to explain how silly it is. In short, if I were to say why it's silly, you wouldn't do anything to be born somewhere, and you don't deserve love just because you were born there. This connection is not felt in normal times. It emerges in some situations. For example, when someone swears at the community they live in or when compared to other communities. This connection is not a strong connection, nor is it a human connection, because at the end of the day, they look at other communities like slaves just because they think their own community is superior. We can look at history as an example of this. So many leaders killed other communities, thinking their own communities were superior. Another connection other than nationalism is patriotism. When we compare it to nationalism, it seems better, but seeming better doesn't mean it is. To give a brief explanation, a patriot is someone who loves their country and wants it to be in a better condition and wants to connect with people who have this desire. This connection is not there in normal times, so people don't feel it. This feeling only arises with the instinct to protect oneself when there is an attack on the country, and it pushes them to defend their country, themselves, and their land, and disappears again when the attack is over. So this connection is only based on feelings. This feeling is also present in animals. Let's talk about the spiritual side of a human. In other words, a religion. If it doesn't have its own system and only appears when you worship, then it's not complete, and you can't give it a full connection. This religion only appears when you worship for 5 to 10 minutes and disappears for the rest of your life. Most religions in our time are like this. They only deal with the spiritual side of a human. They don't give a system, a way of life, laws. We can increase the examples, but all of these are connections based on feelings and interests, and after a while, the connection is broken. I want to talk about the last connection and the strongest connection. This connection is not only based on feelings and doesn't disappear easily. This connection is based on an ideology. People gather around an idea, and this idea gives them ideas. From these ideas, feelings, laws, and actions, a lifestyle emerges. People feel the same, think the same, live the same life under the same laws, so there is a connection between them, and to break this connection, you have to kill them. This idea first has to answer our questions about life. What was before this life, and what will happen after this life? It has to tell me what is good and what is bad for me. In other words, it has to give me laws for my life. It has to tell me where I came from and where I'm going. It has to tell me what I should do to be happy. Then I can name it an ideology and connect around it. To determine which of these ideologies is correct, we need to look at how compatible they are with human nature. A deep video about what ideology is will be shared soon. If you know of other connections or disagree with any idea, you can share it with us. Thanks for listening.